Hi guys, how are you? This is officially the third part of the show. Because this poem, uh, I'm a nice one. You are grooving. Yeah, you're grooving. I like to call Mama Myesha on stage and House Natalia because my voice is burdened and they shall help me unburden. They hijack me, I hijack back.
Okay.
So it's
I know this is scary.
yes, you know this is good. I hope. Come, put down the camera. Yeah, exactly. Um, it's been a while since you know what we're doing because you know it, and then you know it. So you do it, and then you start, and then she comes in, and then I close, and then you do your thing. Yeah. It's called Agha Shame, featuring the ladies and ladies and gentlemen.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna be reborn at the African Freedom Station.
The last show of the year.
Yeah, in another word, in other worlds.
And I usually have my book.
So it's gonna be reborn.
It's reborn, really reborn.
We haven't read the book, okay? So say what you know. We won't know the difference.
He beat her, he stabbed her, he kicked her to death because she was too pretty, because she wouldn't listen, because she didn't know her place, because da-da-da-da-da. He beat her, he stabbed her, he kicked her to death because he couldn't feel, because he was the man, because he didn't know his power, because he could. He beat her, he stabbed her, he kicked her to death because we did nothing, because it was too personal, because we didn't want trouble, because we didn't want to know. He beat her, he kicked her, he stabbed her to death, he threw her to death.
She just tuned onto his tune. And all he said was Agha Shame, Agha Shame. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Ah, yeah, ah, yeah.
And after slaving on a hot coal stove to prepare food for him, she would wait in vain and counted the seconds as the clock ticked. Talked, tick, talked towards another day, and he, guzzling a few, when in seconds he'd be in a state of intoxication, possessed by the liquefied demons, and doors like in the wild, wild west flicks would flung open, and she would become his target, and like an African drum he beat her. He pounded her rhythmlessly over and 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 over again until her skin broke out into a bloody scream, tears rolling down her cheeks, followed by orgasmic screams and shrills. And every day she'd wake up to blame herself. Maybe I should have put more food on the table, and maybe I should have listened more when this would not be happening. From teary eyes to red eyes to blue eyes to black eyes to no more vision in her eyes. Now she slowly watched as the soul of her husband died, and she slowly died. She cried with her mind, and she cried with her body, and she cried with her mind, body, and soul. And the kids, all four of them, huddled up in the upstairs bedroom with pumps to their ears to shield themselves from their mother's painful screams. And the oldest, he was 11, who tried to intervene, but he'd get share footed. with his face bashed against the wall. And the neighbors would call in their kids, close their doors, lock their windows, and pull their window curtains and become mummified in front of in front of their TV screens and immune to her painful screams. And every day she'd wake up to tell him it's gonna be okay when they ask, Mommy, why doesn't Daddy love no more? Remember, he used to put us on his lap and tell us stories, and sometimes he'll bring us chocolate, the type that crumbled. Daddy, what happened? And she'll tell him it's going to be okay, and it's going to be alright, and it's going to be fine. Until one morning she did not wake up to tell him it's gonna be okay, and the sun did not shine. And the neighbors came dressed in black to pay their last respects, and I overheard them saying, Agha Shame. She was such a beautiful child, but not beautiful enough for them to give her help, and Agha Shame is all they could say. Agha Shame. Thank you.
Yes.